Be me, 32F. Let's rewind the clock 5 years, back to when my life was a 10. 27, married, and living in a way that made my college frenemies sick with envy. My husband Nick was the guy I'd picked out of the herd in sophomore year. We met in some fluff class. I was a communications major looking for an easy A. He was a CS nerd who actually read the textbook. He was sweet, incredibly smart, but quiet. Had a wardrobe consisting of free t-shirts from tech conferences and one nice shirt for weddings. I saw him as a project, a fixer-upper with great bones. He was stable, loyal, and had this calm demeanor that was like a human Xanax. I figured I could teach him how to dress. The rest was solid gold. We got married a year after graduation. Life fell into place exactly as I'd storyboarded it in my head. Nick landed a cushy software engineering job at a big, boring financial tech company. Made bank. I was a social media manager for a small, chic marketing agency. My job was literally to be cool online, and I was good at it. Combined income was pushing 170K, which in our city meant we were basically royalty for our age group. We had a 2-bedroom apartment on the 19th floor with floor-to-ceiling windows. Our weekends were a highlight reel for my Instagram feed. Boozy brunches with artisanal everything, weekend getaways to quaint little towns, craft cocktails at moody speakeasies. We went to Tulum for our 2nd anniversary, and I got almost 600 likes on a pic of my legs by the ocean. #blessed. This was the life. Security, status, and aesthetics. The Holy Trinity. An important piece of the puzzle. Nick's inheritance. His grandfather had left him a portfolio of stocks when he passed. Not a fortune, but a significant chunk of change, worth about 80Ks back then. It was our future fund, our down payment on a 4-bedroom house in the good school district we didn't even need yet. I loved checking the portfolio on my phone, watching the little green numbers go up. It felt solid, tangible, a promise of the perfect life to come. Then there was Zach. My face when I even have to type his name. Zach was Nick's best friend from college, his polar opposite. If Nick was a steady metronome, Zach was a drum solo in a metal band. He was always buzzing with some billion-dollar idea that would change the world. To me, he was a man-child who refused to get a real job, perpetually stuck in a startup fantasy league. Nick, being the loyal golden retriever he is, adored him. They'd lock themselves in our 2nd bedroom, our would-be nursery, which was then a home office. They'd fill a giant whiteboard with code snippets and diagrams that looked like alien hieroglyphics. I would just sigh, pop in my AirPods to listen to some true crime podcast, and browse for new throw pillows online. The night it all fell apart started like any other Tuesday. We ordered Thai food. I was half watching some reality show. Nick muted the TV. He had his serious talk face on. My first thought was that his dad's health had taken a turn, or he'd gotten laid off. I need to tell you something important. I braced myself. Zach and I are going to do it. For real this time. We're launching the company. A wave of relief and annoyance washed over me. Oh, it's just this again. I gave him the smile. The one that says, "That's nice, dear. Now pass the remote." "Oh wow, honey. That's great. What is this one about?" He starts talking a mile a minute, all passion and excitement. The company was called Shadow Wolf. He was talking about ending cyber risk and building a concierge security team for businesses that couldn't afford their own. It sounded like a glorified antivirus software to me, boring and pointless. "That's amazing, babe. So you'll be coding on the weekends. It'll be a fun little side project." He shook his head slowly. "No, this isn't a side project. We need to go all in. And we need seed funding to get it off the ground." I was still playing along. This was all hypothetical, a fantasy. Okay, so Zach is finally going to put on a suit and talk to some venture capitalists? Nick took a deep breath. The kind you take before you jump off a cliff? There's no time for that. An idea like this, you have to be first to market. We need the capital now. I'm going to provide it. The air in the room turned to ice. I just stared at him, my pad thai forgotten. "What capital, Nick? What are you talking about?" He wouldn't meet my eyes. He stared at a spot on the wall behind my head. The stocks, from Grandpa. For a second, my brain just short-circuited. The stocks, our house, our future family, our financial security blanket that I wrap myself in every night. It was like he'd just suggested we set our apartment on fire for fun. All I managed to get out was a strangled whisper. "You want to sell every single stock, our entire future, and give the money to Zach? For a cybersecurity company?" He tried to reason with me. It's not giving it to him. I'm a co-founder. I'm the CTO. I'll have a 40% equity stake. "Honey, I've run the numbers. I've built the proof of concept. This isn't just an idea, it's a certainty. This is our shot." I just started laughing. It wasn't a happy sound. I saw my beautiful, meticulously planned life spiraling down the drain, traded for a tech bro pipe dream. The fight wasn't just a fight, it was a week-long war. I cried, I screamed, I reasoned, I pleaded. I called my mum, who said he's lost his mind. Do not let him do this to you. I met my friends for emergency wine night. They were horrified. This is financial suicide. He's being so selfish. Their validation was like fuel. I was the sane one. He was the one having a breakdown. I started looking up divorce horror stories online, morbidly curious. I saw titles about wives getting revenge on deadbeat husbands, and it made me feel like I was taking the right precautions, preparing for the worst. Finally, I played my trump card. The ultimatum: you need to choose, Nick. It's me, our life, our future, a family, a home, or it's this ridiculous project. It's me or Zach's fantasy. I was so sure, so goddamn sure he would choose me. I was the safe bet, the beautiful life right in front of him. My face when he looked at me with this profound sadness in his eyes and said, I'm so sorry you feel that way, but this is something I have to do. He didn't choose me. He chose a fucking cybersecurity company. The divorce was swift. He was surprisingly compliant. He didn't fight me on anything. It was like he was too distracted to care. I kept the Audi A4, my status symbol. I got half of our joint savings, which was a decent chunk. I took almost all the designer furniture we'd spent years picking out. He only put up a fight for one thing: the money from the stocks. He'd already liquidated the portfolio, and it was sitting in a business account for Shadow Wolf, LLC. My lawyer told me we could go after it, that it was a marital asset, but it would be a messy, expensive fight with no guarantee of success. Honestly, I didn't have the energy. I just wanted out, and I was so certain the money was already gone, burned on a pile of useless code. Let him have his monopoly money. I told my lawyer, I'll take the things with real value. I signed the papers and walked out of that law office feeling like I'd just escaped a sinking ship. I felt free, light, and most of all, smart. The first year of my new life was a victory lap. I moved into a slightly smaller but much trendier apartment by myself. My Instagram narrative shifted from happy wife to empowered single woman. Posts about new beginnings, knowing your worth, and never settling. Each one a carefully crafted jab at him. Look at me, living my best life. You fumbled this, you idiot. I dated a lot. I had to type men with secure, boring, high-paying jobs, finance bros, corporate lawyers, consultants, men who understood the value of a solid 401k. It was everything I thought I wanted. I'd get updates on Nick from our dwindling pool of mutual friends. He'd quit his job. His six-figure safety net was gone. He and Zach were literally working out of Zach's parents' garage, like a goddamn 90s movie cliche. He'd traded the Audi for a beat-to-shit old Honda. He'd lost weight, had permanent dark circles under his eyes. Every little nugget of information was a hit of dopamine for me. It was my I told you so tour, and I was the main act. I'd be at brunch with my friends, and someone would say, saw Nick at the grocery store. He looked really tired. I'd put on my best concerned face. Oh, that's such a shame. I truly wish him the best. But inside, I was gloating. I was the protagonist in one of those stories where the ex crashes and burns after the breakup. He had his nerdy dream. I had reality, and reality was looking pretty good for me. Then year 2 rolled around. Year 3 began. The victory lap started to feel more like running in circles. My trendy apartment's rent went up, and my salary at the boutique agency did not. The curated life is expensive. I was funding my Instagram lifestyle with credit cards. The empowered single woman was drowning in debt. The dates with the finance bros were all the same. They'd talk about their portfolios and their summer homes, and I'd feel this profound emptiness. They were the right choice on paper, but there was no spark, no real connection like I'd had with Nick, even in the beginning. My friends were all getting engaged for real, buying houses, having babies. They were living the life I'd thrown away. I was almost 30. My life wasn't moving forward. It was a performance for an audience that was starting to get bored. I started hiding, avoiding big group trips. Work is just so crazy, I can't possibly get away, was my code for I'm broke. I eventually sold the Audi, posted a story about my journey into minimalism and sustainable transport. In reality, I couldn't afford the insurance and the payment was killing me. I still followed the Nick saga. It was a habit. A way to remind myself I'd made the right call, but the narrative started to shift. The whispers were no longer, "he looks rough." They were, "I think Shadow Wolf just hired their first 2 employees." Then, months later, "Did you hear they got an actual office? Not the garage anymore?" I'd dismiss it. Good for him. So he turned his little hobby into a small business. Cute. Probably barely breaking even. The first real earthquake hit on a random Wednesday afternoon. I was at my desk, mindlessly scrolling through LinkedIn to look productive, and then I saw his face. It was a post from Nick himself. My heart skipped a beat. He was announcing some kind of partnership. The post was bland corporate speak, but the picture showed him in a small but real office, smiling with another tech CEO. The comments were full of people congratulating him. Then I saw a press release shared by a connection, a tech accelerator fund, announcing our newest cohort of visionary startups. And there it was, Shadow Wolf. The blurb underneath read, "Shadow Wolf, a revolutionary security operations platform, has secured $500,000 in pre-seed funding to expand its engineering team and scale its infrastructure." $500,000. My blood went cold. That wasn't hobby money. That was real money from real investors. People who weren't married to him, who had no reason to believe in him other than the idea itself. The idea I had, laughed at. I felt a tiny, sharp pain in my chest. I told myself it was a fluke. They got lucky. Some investor had more money than sense. About 8 months after that, the big one hit, the nuke. It was a Thursday night. I was at home, eating a sad desk salad for dinner, trying to be healthy. My friend from my PR days, Jessica, texted me. The text just said, "Holy shit, have you seen this?" It was a link to an article on a major tech news site, TechCrunch. The headline was burned into my memory. Sequoia Capital leads $30 million Series A round for cybersecurity unicorn, Shadow Wolf. What? My fingers were trembling as I tapped the link. The page loaded. There was a photo, Nick and Zach. They weren't in a garage. They were standing in the middle of a massive, sun-drenched open-plan office. It was all glass and steel and minimalist furniture. Dozens of young, smart-looking people were working on Macs in the background. And Nick, he looked incredible. He was wearing a simple black t-shirt that probably cost $300 and a watch that probably cost more than my car. He wasn't smiling a huge, cheesy grin. He just had that same calm, steady look. But it wasn't tired anymore. It was radiating a quiet, powerful confidence. He looked like he owned the world, because he kind of did. I forced myself to read the article. Co-founders Nick and Zach, it said. The words swam in front of my eyes. Company now valued at approximately $250 million. Hailed by industry insiders as the most significant innovation in security operations in a decade. Shadow Wolf is set to redefine the future of how businesses combat cyber threats. I clicked over to the company's actual website. It was slick, professional. It looked like a real multi-million-dollar company. Not a fantasy. I leaned back. My mind was frantically trying to do the math. His 40% equity stake, the stake he got for the $80,000 I told him was worthless. 40% of $250 million. That's $100 million. I felt a new kind of sickness rise in my throat. I ran to the bathroom and threw up the salad. I gripped the sink, knuckles white, and stared at my reflection in the mirror. I was 31. I had $14,000 in credit card debt. My trendy apartment felt like a prison. My skin was dull. I had the same tired eyes I used to mock him for having. I thought about the house we were supposed to buy, the kids we were supposed to have, the life we were supposed to build. I didn't just dodge a bullet. I dodged a winning lottery ticket. The last year has been a quiet, private hell. Shadow Wolf is a household name in the tech world now. There are ads for it on YouTube, podcasts, even on TV. Their sleek logo with the wolf's head is everywhere. Every time I see it, it's like a tiny paper cut on my soul. My friends, bless their hearts, stopped bringing him up. They walk on eggshells around the topic. The pity in their eyes is worse than any "I told you so." I am a legend in my old friend group, a myth. The girl who had it all and threw it all away because she couldn't handle a little risk. An absolute fool. I see them reading stories online about toxic exes getting their comeuppance, and I know they're thinking of me. A few months ago, I hit a new low. It was 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. I'd had most of a bottle of wine. I did the one thing I swore I'd never do. I went to his LinkedIn profile, the same one I saw him post from. His title was President and Chief Executive Officer. His profile picture was him on a boat. He had his arm around a woman. She was beautiful in that natural, no-makeup way that you can only pull off when you're genuinely happy and well-rested, fueled by cheap Merlot and self-hatred. I sent him a connection request with a message. I must have revised it 50 times. Hey, congrats on everything. So wild. Too eager. Long time no see. Hope you're good. Too pathetic. I eventually landed on what I thought was a masterpiece of casual indifference. Hey Nick, it's Lara. Randomly saw an article about your company and just wanted to say it's incredible to see. Seriously, congrats on all the success. I always knew you had it in you. That last line, I always knew you had it in you. The most profound lie I have ever told in my entire life. I hit send. My heart was a drum against my ribs. What did I want? I don't even know. For him to see I was still alive, for him to feel a pang of pity, for him to offer some kind of absolution. I watched my phone for what felt like an eternity. A little while later, I got the notification. Your invitation to connect with Nick was withdrawn. He didn't even just ignore it, he actively rejected it. He clicked the button to make me disappear, just like I made his dream disappear from my life. He didn't even give me the satisfaction of an angry reply. Just a click. Nothing. So that's where I am now. Be me. Working a dead-end marketing job, just to pay off the debt I racked up trying to look successful. I live in a small studio, in a charmless suburb, because the rent is cheap. I saw a post on his LinkedIn a while back, him announcing their intent to acquire another company. Just another Tuesday for him, casually buying companies. I'm not sad anymore. I'm not even angry. I'm just hollow. I had a king, and I traded him for a curated feed. He built an empire from a dream. I built a prison for myself, out of pride.